Hello and welcome. It gives us great pleasure to welcome the Finance Minister of India, Mr. P. Chidambaram. Me and my colleague Shweta Rajpal Kohli are going to be asking him partly about the budget and also really looking forward, because we've had some time now to digest the budget. And I think you also indicated that a lot of what is really crucial is what's also happening outside the budgetary process. So looking ahead a bit, do you think that the process that has really kicked out from September, these months are going to be arguably some of the most crucial months for India? The budget, the reforms you've started, some of the bills that are pending in Parliament.
As I said in the media conference, the budget is not a one-stop or a one-stage exercise. We have done a lot of things in the run-up to the budget, and we will do a lot of things immediately after. For example, just this morning, I'm dictating a note to the Prime Minister, requesting him to take a meeting of the ministers on certain crucial announcements made in the budget. I've also asked him to ask the Cabinet Secretary and the Principal Secretary to co-chair another meeting of the secretaries on certain other paragraphs of the budget. I will chair a meeting of my secretaries to implement the paragraphs concerning the Ministry of Finance. Therefore, between now and the debate in Parliament, and then the debate on the finance bill, there will be many more decisions announced.
So the budget has often tended to become this big tamasha which gets so much attention and so much hype. Is part of what you're saying also, saying that the budget is one thing, but what happens outside, what happens with implementation, what happens with bills, what happens with getting those budget announcements done, that actually perhaps is more important than what's actually said in the speech.
Of course. See, the budget is important in the sense that it captures the attention of the people. It's an event, and therefore the event is magnified. It has its own pluses and minuses, but I think a lot of work has to be done immediately after the budget. In the past, my experience has been nobody begins work on the budget until the month of June. Now, in the pre-budget day cabinet meeting, I requested the Prime Minister and the ministers that they should begin to work on the budget immediately, 1st of March, and their cabinet notes for approval should come in the month of April, so that the implementation process can start in April rather than in the month of September. We cannot afford to lose the first half of the year.
You've really had a tough task at hand ever since you've taken over as the Finance Minister. Part of the expectation was also coming from the fact that you were going to deliver this budget, and many in that sense, given that you've really been the darling of corporate India, of equity markets, there was a lot of hope and expectation riding from you particularly. While many have praised this as a balanced budget, some feel it's really been a missed opportunity to revive the so-called animal spirit.
Well, everybody has a sectoral interest, a narrow partisan interest. But I can't satisfy sectoral and partisan interests. All we can do is to create the environment for the growth engine to restart. The growth engine is not driven only by industry. The growth engine is driven by a large number of stakeholders in the country, beginning from farmers to unorganized labor, to self-employed people, to the service sector. Therefore, what we are trying to create is an environment where the growth engine restarts. Industry, of course, plays an important part, but I don't think corporate sector or industry should expect that the whole budget speech will be devoted to them and all the decisions will be devoted only to them.
But not just the industry, you're someone who has delivered a dream budget in the past. Do you think we should stop expecting budgets to be dream budgets? What many say is that this really lacked that one big idea. It did not have a wow factor.
The big idea interests the media, because you want to break the news for saying Big Bang.
Was it Big Bang?
I think even the Big Bang theory has been debunked in the creation of the world. Therefore, I don't think big bangs are the way to make budgets. Budgets are about doing a number of small things, crucial things, critical things, which, when they come together, get the growth engine restarted. The growth engine has stalled. We have to restart that growth engine. This doesn't require a big bang. This requires a number of small critical steps.
So to the extent that perhaps one of the philosophy behind this budget, or one of the major things that you seem to have set out to try and achieve, was controlling the fiscal deficit. And that's really what you set out to do, get the macro consolidation going. There were some concerns as to whether the cuts in expenditure that we saw last year, that's the way you were able to get to 5.2, by having that expenditure number coming down. Is that a signal that not enough is being invested, and could that have an impact on growth itself?
No, the assumption that plan expenditure by definition is capital expenditure, or is by definition quote unquote good expenditure, has been questioned. What is important is, where is that money being invested? Secondly, as I pointed out, the plan expenditure was pitched at a very ambitious level in 2012-13, something way beyond the capacity of ministries and departments. Thirdly, plan expenditure was premised on the assumption that GDP will grow at 7.5%. It turns out that GDP is growing at about 5%, or maybe a little more than 5%. Therefore, there was simply no way to spend that kind of money, and the system did not have the absorptive capacity for that kind of money. So in December, when we took stock, we found that many ministries had not spent 75% of the money allotted to them. Automatically, the rule comes into play that you cannot spend more than 25% in the last quarter. Because in the last quarter, you really don't spend money, you park money. In the government account, it is shown as expenditure, but the money is actually parked somewhere. That's not expenditure. Therefore, there have been savings in the plan side. Yes, some austerity measures were imposed. There have been savings on the plan side. But where else can you save? You can't save on non-plan. Non-plan is more or less committed and fixed. Therefore, we have indeed saved on the plan side. But that saving and the consequent containment of the fiscal deficit has now given me room to be more ambitious in the plan for the next year, and we have fixed the plan at 5,55,322 crore.
So to the extent that ministries like Rural Development and others didn't spend all that money last year, now you're saying there's going to be a 46% increase this year. Is that because partly this is an election year, so there will be efforts made to actually go out and spend the money and all of that? Or is there again some cushion that is built in there?
No. I have said that I'm going to insist that they begin to spend on 1st of April, which is why 2 days after the budget, I'm here on a Saturday writing the note to the PM.